The fifth round of the June SKB tournament just ended. Let me take you through some of the interesting games. The game between the two leaders, Adrit and Yatin, ended because of uh, ended for one side because of one tactic. You can see here Yatin just plays bishop b5, attacking the rook. But then he missed one small tactic which wins a piece for Adrit. Queen b3. It's a fork and the bishop is just gone. So one moment of carelessness and it cost Yatin a piece. And from there, Adrit converted smoothly and is now on 5 out of 5. In the another game between Niranjan and Samarth, a very similar tactic happened. So let's see, pawn takes, bishop takes. So Samarth is being very smart here. He is not directly playing queen a4 because then there is knight c6 defending. He goes bishop takes, rook, queen takes, and then comes queen a4. This kind of tactic happens all the time in chess.com puzzle rush, right? Just queen attacking the king and the bishop, and the bishop is gone. So one piece gone because of the fork, and that was a good spot by Samarth. The third game is an endgame. It was an endgame between Rutvik and Akash. A very interesting endgame. Rutvik has just played Rook h1, threatening Rook h8 checkmate. It's a very difficult position for Akash. But Akash thought properly and found the only defense, which is to promote the pawn. Rook takes. Now he pushes a pawn. So here, if white goes to h1, then black can just make a draw by the checks and then take the pawn, and that should also be a draw. So now the what do you say? The worst is past, and both of them are doing okay. As in, it's a equal position. So rook c1 was chosen by Rutvik. Check, and Rutvik did not even play king g6, which would anyway have cost him the pawn after rook check, and then but that would have been an easier way to draw it because then if rook check king moves takes, he will take here. But all right, he went for this, and the king got back just in time to take the pawn. And from here, both of them forgot about the draw option. They just kept playing for the next 50 moves with just rook versus rook versus rook versus rook position. And after 50 moves, it became a draw on move number 112. Now, the next game is a very, what do you say, sad mistake by Ishan. Ishan had played decently and he's up by a rook. Vrikshav just missed a symbol, a threat to a rook in the beginning of the game. That was somewhere around here. Let me show you. Here. Ishan just played queen f3 attacking the rook, and Vrikshav just missed it completely and lost a rook. Now coming back to the position I want to show you, it was here. Ishan played the move f3, attacking the knight. Again, it's similar to the mistake he made in the previous round where he played c3, just making attacking a knight with a pawn. Here he should have just developed his pieces. Knight out. Even d3 is okay. D3 is fine, totally fine. But yeah, he goes for f3 and he completely missed that black can play queen d4. And now it's bad for him. Here he collapsed even more. He could have played king f1, but he played king h1. Complete collapse. Knight f2 and queen's gone. It's a double check, and again he came right here but got mated there. So this is like deja vu for Ishan. Similar thing happened against Siddharth. One miss and the opponent strikes. The next game I'm going to show you is between Asmi and Siddhant. Asmi played some very strange chess in this game. She is basically up by 2 pawns. So what is needed here is get the queen out somehow, move the bishop and start pushing the b pawn. Rook b1, bishop c4, d3. That looks like a very solid position. And then somehow get the queen in the game with pawn moves and queen h5. That's a way to do it. But she played king e1. For some strange reason, she wants the king to come to d2. But that leaves this side completely devoid of any support. The king is needed there. Here, the pawn can run without the king. King is not needed on this side. Bishop e6 takes. Now the knight is coming to f4, which is still dealable. Queen e7, queen d2. Knight f4, king f1. So the king again retreats back. Queen f6. Now you can play move like king g1. Just keep the king on a safe square, and then start to get the queen in somehow. Knight e2. She immediately wants to kick away the black knight. Knight goes, and now knight g1. This is still fine. It allows knight g3, but it's still fine. King e1, knight back, and here queen e2, knight f4. So queen e2 was not needed here. Here it was better to just play knight f3. Just knight f3, and then king can come to f1 or e2, and good position. But queen e2, knight f4, queen f3, still it's good. Queen c6, attacking the pawn. Here she could have decided to play king d2. She played queen d1, just giving up the g2 pawn. She kind of didn't see that. Now it's becoming equal. Knight back, queen c1, another very passive move. I don't know why she played it. What was the point of that? She just wants to play c4. But then queen c8, attacking the h3 pawn. And the pawn cannot be defended. King e1. And here Siddhant did not even take it. That's a brave decision. He wants to take here. Very nice move. And now rook c7. This is perfect. Very good chess. And now he took. Now it's an equal material position, but black is way better. White has put the pieces too much passively. And here there is a very simple plan for Siddhant to win this. Just push the h pawn and win. That's it. White can do nothing about it. The pieces are so stuck. Just need what 5 moves to promote. But yeah, he played this check. Even here, I think exchanging would be a decent option because of the h pawn. But okay, he kept the queens, and then a very uncharacteristic blunder happened right here. She played king e2. In time trouble, yeah, but still, you can't afford to play more like king e2 and lost the queen and resigned. The next game I'm going to show you is, yeah, this one is between Srijan and Amvi. Srijan's knight is pinned. Srijan plays b4. He's in a hurry to exchange of those pawns. He should have just dealt with this pin first. King e1, and then it's okay to play b4 because then the pieces are free to move. But yeah, he goes directly for that and then lost the pawn. And I'll take you to the position where the brilliant tactic happened. Can you find the winning move Ammi played here? Ammi can easily start pushing the pawn, but she found an even better move, a winning move. Rook d8. And now the knight's attacked and the rook is defended by the knight, which means one piece is gone. The rook can't move and defend the knight, which means he just moved the rook and lost the knight. So these were a few interesting things that happened in the round 5 of the tournament. After 5 rounds, we have Adrit on 5 out of 5. There is a big pack of 5 players just behind him, which might not be enough if he loses the next round, but a draw would be enough for him to become the champion. So yeah, so an exciting last round